Hello everyone, welcome to CFC Fan TV. This is my Watford preview. This is a Fan League preview brought to you by Fan League. It's a fan betting app. You have to be over 18 and of course, please gamble responsibly. Now, big game on Saturday. There's so much to talk about in this actually. I suppose I'm doing this preview off the back of our draw against Roma last night, 3-3. Completely different competition, but the results sort of reflected our form at the moment, and I think that's just across the board. I don't think that's just in the Premier League, as we're seeing. We have some problems. You would have thought with Morata being back, he would have done something, but I really don't feel like Morata being back yesterday was his decision. I don't think he was pressing. I don't think he was like, yeah, get me back in the team. I really want to play. I really want to play. I think he is not fully recovered, but I think he's fit enough to play in that game. And as we know, Conte doesn't fully trust Bakayoko, so for him, he was probably thinking after the performance against Palace, Morata has to play. This is too much for a big game. Our title hopes, as much as I like to think they're over, you know, I'm confident we're gonna finish top four. But if I'm gonna think of anything that, if we're gonna win a trophy this season, if Conte wants to prioritise anything, it's the Champions League now. My team was up, as you all saw in my preview, and I made a good point, and it's such a shame because I think our team reaction, because of the signal in the ground, didn't feed back to you guys properly, but I said I'm going to predict David Luiz is going to score a goal tonight if he's in that attacking midfield role, and he was, and I was really, really pleased that Conte maybe he even saw my preview. Do you think he saw my preview? Because I really feel like he did. I feel like he read my mind on that one. But it was good for David Luiz to start, and I suppose we have to start off before we go into the whole team selection for Watford on a sort of recap of what happened, because it just does reflect what Conte is going to decide to do in this game. David Luiz in the midfield, I thought was absolutely fantastic. His goal wasn't, you know, a set-up goal, it wasn't something pre-planned. He decided to take the shot, and it's good that he did, because I honestly feel like if he hadn't have sort of took the initiative there, that Roma may have netted the first goal. And that just sort of gives us, you know, a huge boost. And then obviously Eden Hazard's goal came. It's a fantastic goal. Great to see Eden on it, you know, at his best. I think he's fully back now. I know when you come back from an injury, it can even just take you time to get back into the team and get back into playing, you know, how you play best. And I think he's fully there now. The downside to the game is that by being 2 goals up, we then let in 3 and actually were losing the game at one point. Great volley from Dzeko, if that's how you say his name. Yeah, great volley there, and you know, another goal, and they really turned up. I actually didn't expect Roma to be as good as what they were, but they're obviously in it to win as much as we are, and you never know what can happen in this league. I think the Champions League is the one trophy that every footballer in this competition wants to win. Like it's more of a, it's more heart. I think you feel more heartbreak in this competition when you get knocked out than you do in any, you know, Premier League games that you play, any titles that you're going for, any FA Cup finals, things like that. It really is a competition that means a lot to the players and especially the fans. So yeah, they performed really well, and I suppose, I know a lot of you fans were absolutely fuming. The majority of fans were really disappointed with it. I actually was vlogging the game, so I probably missed all the like nitty-gritty parts of it where there were certain things that obviously need to be improved, and us obviously letting in 3 goals is a huge downfall, but I did think that Roma was superb yesterday. The good thing to take from it is David Luiz's goal was fantastic. It's been played on replay on Twitter and tweeted out here and on Facebook, here and there, everywhere. It was a great goal, and Eden Hazard's 2 goals, scorer with his head. How often does he do that? So there were some positives to take from that game, and I think although it wasn't the dream, and we should have been, you know, winning that game at home, we're still top of the group. You know, Atletico Madrid dropped points against Karabakh. I don't know what's going on with them. They're obviously having a really hard time, and probably expected this group to be a lot easier than what it has been. I don't think we're taking the same ideology. I don't think we're showing that at all. I think we definitely want to win. The only thing I think we slipped on yesterday is when we went 2-0 up, we probably thought it was going to be a little bit of a walkthrough, and that's sort of our only downfall yesterday. Moving on to Watford then. We have further problems. I don't really know where to start with you. We have further problems because although a lot of us fans, including myself, was fuming when David Luiz went off, we never really, it happened quite suddenly. It's before the hour mark, so we didn't really know what was going on. But Conte has now said that that's because he was injured. He felt an injury at half-time, and although I don't know if he wanted to come off or not, I think he wanted to continue to play. Conte was probably thinking, right, well, I can't risk him any further. Along with that, apparently Bakayoko is also at half-time said he felt some sort of groin injury. I mean, we just don't need that, and I honestly don't know how I'm gonna do this preview without putting them in. So I'm just gonna assume that they're fit for Saturday, because we can't be without 3 of our central midfielders now. It's impossible. Like, it's impossible. Who would I put in the team? Like, I honestly, without playing some of our youngsters, without trying to change things around quite dramatically, I don't know who I would put in, and that it's really unfortunate. I know Conte only said it's only 3 injuries. Now we've got Morata back, but 3 injuries in probably the core of our squad is like, no, it's unacceptable. It's not good, and they need to get better before Saturday. That's all I'm saying. So yeah, let's get on with my team then. Now, one thing I will say, I thought Christensen made some fantastic tackles in the Roma game without fouling, and a lot of these were inside the box as well. He seemed more like a leader to me than Cahill did. Not that I think Cahill was horrendous, but either way, my back line, okay, Courtois in goal, obviously, what's new? My back line is going to be Dave, Christensen and Rudiger. I thought Rudiger looked okay when he come on. It's quite hard to say that any player was at their best yesterday, because at the end of the day, our back line let in 3 goals. But I feel this is the way to go. Cahill obviously got injured as well. I don't know if you've seen that bandage that he had around his head. People on Twitter are finding it quite funny. I don't really find it that funny, but when any player's injured. But yeah, I feel, I just want to see if this works. I want to see if this works. Currently it's not working. We have now let in 5 goals in the space of a week. I don't feel like what Conte's doing is working, so I want to put Dave, Christensen and Rudiger in. Not even Dave's had the best game, so like I said, it's quite a hard preview, but that's going to be my back line. My central midfield, I'm going to stick with the same actually. Zappacosta, Bakayoko, David Luiz and Alonso. I know a lot of fans weren't happy with Zappacosta's performance yesterday, but I don't know if Victor Moses is back fully yet. I'm not sure about that, and I don't actually think he's doing that bad. I think it'd be good for him to get some game time. I think at the moment it's sort of our only option. Like I say, I'm trying to fit holes in this, but or you know, try and move somebody else in without changing the entire team. I don't really want to move anything or mess it up. I did see some improvements yesterday, and Watford aren't Roma, so although they've had some. Although they had a great result against Arsenal, I do feel like coming to the bridge is a different kettle of fish. So that's going to be my midfield and my wings. I have changed it up front slightly. I'm not going to put Fabregas in. I'm going to put Pedro in. I'm going to put Pedro in with Hazard and then Morata up front. Pedro, I think, should have started the game yesterday, if I'm being honest. You feel free to disagree with me, but he was in my preview to start. If anyone was going to go off when Pedro came on against Roma, it would have been Fabregas for me. I just wouldn't have tampered with the midfield. I don't actually think if David Luiz was on the pitch that we would have conceded those goals, because the minute we took him off, letting in goals all over the shot. So I think it sort of shows actually we've got 2 things here. Number 1, we can use David Luiz as sort of that extra attacking force, which we lack. And secondly, what's my second point? I've lost my train of thought now. And secondly, that, you know, if we're going to take anybody off, I feel like we should be taking players off from their position. Why? When you start changing everything around, it just doesn't work. And I think we need to sort of just establish some sort of solidity, you know, some not even leadership, just well, I'm losing my words here, guys. We need discipline, sorry, here's the word. We need discipline, basically. And I feel like with this team, as of the moment, that's the best team going forward. If David Luiz and Bakayoko are out, comment below, who do you want to be in our central midfield? Because I honestly, guys, I can't work this out for me. So you guys can comment below and let me know who you think should be our central midfield if that happens, because I honestly don't want to see that happen. I want them to both to be fully fit on Saturday. They need to be. We can't drop any more points in this league. We want to be getting top 4 next season. We want to be playing in the Champions League. We want to be competing. And although I don't want to be too negative, I don't think that we're going to finish outside the top 4. I think Conte is super upset with the form that we're in. I think, like he said in his post-match conference the other day that after Palace, that it hurts his soul and that he won't sleep very well, and that's what you sort of need from a manager. I think all the criticism that he's got recently has been a little bit too harsh, but like I said in my review yesterday, I honestly feel like Conte has no idea what to do when Kante's not there, and that's not his fault, that's the board's fault as well, because we don't have anybody else that can sort of come in, and we know that he wanted a few extra signings in the summer transfer window. And whilst I'm thrilled with the likes of Bakayoko and Rudiger, we haven't, and Morata, we haven't got a plan B. And I think a lot of teams will struggle without Kante, not just us. So yeah, it could have been this sort of situation could have been resolved in the summer, but it wasn't, and now we're sort of stuck with our midfield being in a little bit of a bad situation, and I think Conte's just trying to find the best way to get us out of it. Let's go through now then. Now that we've got the team over with, let's go through my fan league predictions for this week. Right, so I'm just going to take you through some of my predictions. Let's start off with the obvious. I've picked Man City to win against Burnley. I wouldn't be surprised if this was another 4-5-0. They're on amazing form at home, and I honestly don't think that Burnley are going to have any chance of winning that game, although it'd be fantastic to see them do so. And then Huddersfield, Man United. I've gone for either a draw or a win to Man United. Huddersfield haven't been as bad as what I thought they were going to be, actually. They've come up to this league. They have... I mean, Palace are bottom, aren't they? If any, you'd think they'd be sort of winning that game, but yeah, they've been all right. But I still think Man United are on a good form as well, second in the league. I feel like they'll probably scrape the win, but I don't see Huddersfield taking 3 points there. If anything, they'll manage to scrape a draw. And then I've gone for Southampton, West Brom. I've gone for either a win to Southampton or a draw. West Brom have a fantastic manager, Tony Pulis. I've always been a fan of him. Again, I don't see them winning against Southampton, but it could be possible though they scrape a draw through. But yeah, comment below. What do you think of my selections? So there you have it. There's my Watford preview. Comment below. Have I got the team right? What did you think of the performance? How do you think we're going to perform on Saturday? I'm for one really excited about this game. I think it's going to, if we can get the 3 points here, I think our form is going to be, you know, starting to move on the up again, and that's exactly what we need. So yeah, comment below, and hopefully, fingers crossed, our midfield isn't any more broken than it already is at the moment.